The Pooh Book of Quotations, Chapter 2. No brain at all, in which we find quotations about having brains and having grey fluff. "Pooh," said Rabbit kindly, "you haven't any brain." "I know," said Pooh humbly. Winnie the Pooh. Pooh sat down on a large stone and tried to think this out. It sounded to him like a riddle, and he was never much good at riddles, being a bear of very little brain. Winnie the Pooh. Pooh knew what he meant, but being a bear of very little brain, couldn't think of the words. The house at Pooh Corner. "Rabbit's clever," said Pooh thoughtfully. "Yes," said Piglet, "Rabbit's clever. And he has a brain." "Yes," said Piglet, "Rabbit has a brain." There was a long silence. "I suppose," said Pooh, that's why he never understands anything." The house at Pooh Corner. "Do you think they're all right, Owl?" "I expect so, you see, at any moment. Do go and see, Owl, because Pooh hasn't got very much brain, and he might do something silly. And I do love him so, Owl. Do you see, Owl?" "That's all right," said Owl. "I'll go, back directly." And he flew off. Winnie the Pooh. "And if anyone knows anything about anything," said Bear to himself, "it's Owl who knows something about something." He said, "Or my name's not Winnie the Pooh," he said. "Which it is," he added, "so there you are." Winnie the Pooh. "There's Pooh," he thought to himself. "Pooh hasn't much brain, but he never comes to any harm. He does silly things and they turn out right. There's Owl. Owl hasn't exactly got brain, but he knows things. He would know the right thing to do when surrounded by water. There's Rabbit. He hasn't learnt in books, but he can always think of a clever plan. There's Kanga. She isn't clever, Kanga isn't, but she would be so anxious about Roo that she would do a good thing to do without thinking about it. And then there's Eeyore, and Eeyore is so miserable anyhow, and that he wouldn't mind about this. But I wonder what Christopher Robin would do." Winnie the Pooh. Pooh was saying to himself, "If only I could think of something," for he felt sure that a very clever brain could catch a heather lump if only he knew the right way to go about it. Winnie the Pooh. "And I said to myself, the others will be sorry if I'm getting myself all cold. They haven't got brains, any of them, only grey fluff that's blown into their heads by mistake, and they don't think, but if it goes on snowing for another 6 weeks or so, one of them will begin to say to himself, 'Eeyore can't be so very much too hot about 3 o'clock in the morning,' and then it will get about, and they'll be sorry." The house at Pooh Corner. "Yes," said Winnie the Pooh. "I see now," said Winnie the Pooh. "I have been foolish and deluded," said he, "and I am a bear of no brain at all." "You're the best bear in all the world," said Christopher Robin soothingly. "Am I?" said Pooh hopefully, and then he brightened up suddenly. "Anyhow," he said, "it is nearly luncheon time." So he went home for it. Winnie the Pooh. "After all," said Rabbit to himself, "Christopher Robin depends on me. He's fond of Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore, and so am I, but they haven't any brain, not to notice. And he respects Owl, because you can't help respecting anybody who can spell Tuesday, even if he doesn't spell it right. But spelling isn't everything. There are days when spelling Tuesday simply doesn't count, and Kanga is too busy looking after Roo, and Roo is too young, and Tigger is too bouncy to be of any help. So there's really nobody but me, when you come to look at it. I'll go and see if there's anything he wants doing, and then I'll do it for him. It's just the day for doing things. The house at Pooh Corner. You're sure it was a house? Said Pooh. I mean, you're sure the house was just here? Of course I am, said Eeyore, and he murmured to himself, no brain at all, some of them. The house at Pooh Corner. Well, Pooh was a bear of enormous brain. Just say it again. Of enormous brain. Of enormous what? Well, he ate a lot. Winnie the Pooh. It just shows what can be done by taking a little trouble, said Eeyore. Do you see, Pooh? Do you see, Piglet? Brains first and then hard work. Look at it. That's the way to build a house, said Eeyore proudly.